My mother-in-law is furious that we won't tell her I'm pregnant, even though she only dreamt about my pregnancy. I finally graduated and only my grandfather-in-law showed up. Mother-in-law is trying to make amends with me a bit, but it still hurts to be around her. Father-in-law demanded an invitation for my husband, but he had a spine, thankfully. On to the better news, my husband and I found out we're pregnant again after 2 rounds of UI. I found out the week of final classes, because my child is as dramatic as me. My husband and I are giving mother-in-law one more chance to get her crap together and get to know me as a person and not just as her son's wife that she hates being around. It's going okay. Sister-in-law in the other state is telling off my husband already for eating my food or not getting me the things I ask for. I love her. My father-in-law and brother-in-law are completely cut off by me. I have now told grandfather-in-law and mother-in-law that I and the baby will not be around them as to not stress me out with the baby. I made something up about PTSD panic attacks having an increase of miscarriages. Frankly, the stress probably does. Husband told father-in-law and brother-in-law that I won't be around but hasn't worked up the courage to tell them they will not have any connection to the baby. I am not going to let them treat my kid horribly. We're also conveying that if anyone decides they want to break our boundaries, they get no contact with the baby too. My husband is growing a strong spine by being so protective of me and the baby. He doesn't want the baby messed up and is really starting to be good and loyal. I do still have to remind him that we have to be of the same kind, so no saying, well, at some point I'd like father-in-law to meet the baby to his mom. Edit. It has been a month or so and it turns out my PTSD just boils down to hurt feelings. At least that's what my husband's family tells me. As I sit here 22 weeks pregnant with my PTSD worse because of it and with no meds because the baby can't have those meds, I feel like no one cares about what I went through. It doesn't matter that I somehow got the courage to go to the first family event in months. All that matters is that I sat at the kitchen island, away from the main table, with my husband and brother-in-law because there was no other seating. Because of this I didn't turn around to talk to the table, nor did my husband and brother-in-law, because we were eating. My sister-in-law's husband took it upon himself to tell my husband and I that I could at least converse with them. 1. I had just been talking with other cousins and his son. 2. They stayed very close to father-in-law and I already felt like I was dying. Sister-in-law's husband told me, I know there are hurt feelings but you have to make an effort. These are my reasons for hurt feelings, why I'm traumatized by father-in-law. He used my CPTSD and CRPS against me to win arguments on at least 3 separate occasions, even when being told not to before, during or after. He said he was glad I miscarried because then he wouldn't have to take care of the kid. He acted like I was a child that needed to obey him. Talked down to me. My husband and I are trying to come up with ways for him to talk to his family because they've gone too far with denying my PTSD this time. After I told my husband I wished to just step out in traffic, he had enough. It also was the vivid stillbirth nightmares and the uncontrollable panic attacks yesterday.